as a financial advisor for over 20 years now, one of the most common questions I get asked is, hey, Azul, what does the average retiree earn in retirement? And I think it's an enormously important question. So I'm going to break this down, not just share that data with you, but I'm going to share it with you by gender. I'm going to share it with you by state. I'm going to also talk about what the average retiree spends their money on in retirement. And then finally, I'm going to break it down not just by the United States, but internationally. How does the U.S. look versus other countries? So let's jump in. The first thing I want to share is an article by the Motley Fool where they say this is the average income for retirees in America. And you can see this is over time. So we start off in 2012. This goes up to 2022. I'm going to have some more recent data here in a minute. But the top line there, that's the average. And I'd caution you on using the average because you could have some people making $1 million or $2 million or more. That is skewing that data. I think much better is to look at the median, which is half the people do better, half the people have less. And you can see from there in 2012, that number goes from, let's call it $35,000, increases in 2016. It went to $40,000. In 2019, it had a peak before coming down. And it right now is at $50,000. So that's the average retiree income. But I think there's another important breakdown, and that is by gender. So what is the average retirement income by gender? And you can see for men, the median, again, is what I want you to look at. The median for men is $31,220, and the median for females is $27,350. So I think a natural question on this data from Motley Fool is, did that chart that we looked at that showed average income by year, is that household or is that individual? And according to this, it would be for a household. So again, for the median male is $31,220. The median female is $27,350. Okay, so that's the income. I think it's also important to look at what are people spending, and then we're going to get into details on what people are spending their money on. So the average annual expenditures by age group, you can see it's pretty close to what the other data was, right? We topped out at $50,000 in 2022, and the median spending is actually more than that. It's almost $60,000. So the average couple is spending more money than what they're bringing in. So the income side of things would be things like their Social Security payments. We're going to talk about average and maximum Social Security in a minute, but it'd be things like Social Security. It'd be things like capital gains, dividends, and interest off of their investment accounts. It'd be things like potentially a pension. So that's the income source. So obviously people are spending more money than their income, which means they're drawing down their savings, which is okay. That's what we saved it for. And that can be a mental challenge to go from saving money for retirement to actually starting to spend it. So the average couple is spending almost $60,000. They're bringing in $50,000 in income, so they have a gap of about $10,000 a year. So what are they spending their money on? And I find this interesting, this chart here, and this is from the Bureau of Labor Statistics and also from the U.S. Census. And this is 2023 data. People 65 and older and then under 65. So you can see the total expenditures, about $58,000 when you're 65 and older, and it's almost $80,000 when they're under 65. And you can see the breakout. Obviously, housing and transportations are the main cost, followed closely by healthcare. Now, I want you to look at the healthcare number. The healthcare number 65 and older is actually higher. It's 7540 versus 5209. And why is that, right? People 65 and older have access to Medicare. So a lot of people think, once I make it to 65, I don't have to worry about healthcare. But that's not the case. There are premiums that we have to pay for our Medicare. And in fact, Fidelity would say the average 65-year-old should budget almost $160,000 over their lifetime for healthcare expenses, things that will not be covered by Medicare. That's a lot of money. So for a couple, that's $320,000 that over their lifetime after 65 that they're going to have to budget. And we see that in the data here. You can see the cost of food goes down. Let's see what else, if there's any other surprises where it actually goes up. No, the biggest one is healthcare. Transportation cost goes down, obviously, because we don't have to worry about commuting to work. Housing cost goes down a little bit, not as much as people would think. It goes from almost $26,000 to a little over $20,000 a year. I think I may have earlier said a month. These numbers are obviously by year. And then the key points they say is the median income for Americans 65 and older is a little over $50,000. Same thing we saw from the Motley Fool article. The average annual expenditures are about $58,000. And the average Social Security benefit, people are surprised by this, and I get comments saying, I don't believe this number is $1,907. And that's why I have this next chart, which is from the Social Security Administration's website, ssa.gov. What's the average monthly benefit for a retired worker? It changes every month, but as of January 2024, it is $1,907. If you're curious how that changes based on age, for most of us, our full retirement age is going to be somewhere between 66 and 67. That's where you get 100% of your benefit. If you start taking Social Security at 62, you're going to get 70% of that full retirement benefit, and it's going to stay at 70%. It never catches up on the monthly benefit. And if you wait for each year that you wait until you're age 70, for each year that you wait past full retirement age, your benefit's going to increase 8 percentage points a year. So if your full retirement age is 67, at 70, you're going to get almost 125% of that monthly benefit for the rest of your life. It's 124%. So at 62, that number again is a little under 1,300. 63, it's 1,339. At 64, it's a little under 1,500. At 65, it's a little over 1,500 a month. At 66, it's 1,740. At 67, it's a little under 1,900 a month. At 68, it's a little over 1,900 a month. At 69, it's 1,945. And finally, at 70, the average Social Security benefit is a little over $2,000, $2,038. People are curious, what is the maximum Social Security benefit that you can get? And again, this changes every year, but in 2024, the maximum benefit is $3,822. And then if you waited until age 70, it would be almost $5,000 a month at $4,873. So the next thing I want to talk about is what is the average retirement age and the cost to live in various states here in the United States. I'm going to scroll through this. You can pause it when you see your state, but it says what's the average cost for a quote-unquote comfortable retirement. And that's according to this article here, where they talk about the average state. You can see the average state, the retirement age, but the most expensive state is actually Hawaii, probably not surprising. It takes about $121,000 a year to have a comfortable retirement there. Some other standouts, California is almost $85,000 a year. The average person retires at 64. I think it's interesting, Alaska, people retire at 61. If that's not the lowest, it's one of the lowest. Alaska has a high cost of living in retirement, though, almost $80,000. Illinois is about $55,000. Average person retires there at 64. Tennessee is about $50,000. Average person retires there at 64. But you can stop the video to see your state. And then I want to share internationally, how's the United States doing? And this is according to Fidelity. This is their global retirement survey. And this is their comfort score. qualitative and quantitative measure here, but you can see from a comfort score and fidelity calls, this darker blue here, good, and then on target. So you can see that 37% of households in the United States are on target, which is the highest of this group here. They also have for us the UK, England. They have Germany, Hong Kong, Japan, and Canada. And so this is where we're at as far as from a comfort standpoint. Thanks for watching this video. The boomer video up here talks about just the challenges, and unfortunately, boomers are not as prepared for retirement as we should be. Thanks for watching this one. I'll see you in the next one.